It's 2 in the morning. You've fed the baby, changed the baby, rocked the baby, and they are still crying. You're exhausted. You're worried. And maybe, just maybe, you're wondering if you're doing something wrong. You're not. Every single parent on this planet has been exactly where you are right now. And today, we are going to fix that helpless feeling together. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're doing a full deep dive into one of the most common challenges for new parents, understanding why your baby cries and, more importantly, exactly what to do about it. By the end of this video, you will know the 7 core reasons babies cry, how to tell them apart, and a complete toolkit of proven soothing techniques that actually work. So grab a coffee. Or if you're watching this at 3 a.m., I see you. Let's get into it. Before we start, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We post weekly content for parents who want real, research-backed answers. And if you find this video helpful, share it with a new parent in your life. It might just save their sanity tonight. All right, let's talk about crying. Section 1. The science of why babies cry. First, let's zoom out and understand something really important. Crying is not a problem. Crying is a solution. Your baby came into this world completely helpless. They can't walk, they can't talk, they can't even hold their head up. The one tool they have to communicate every single need, hunger, pain, loneliness, fear, is their voice. Crying is their language. And here's something that might surprise you. Babies are actually biologically wired to cry in a way that makes it nearly impossible for adults to ignore. Studies have shown that the frequency of an infant's cry, somewhere between 300 and 600 hertz, triggers a stress response in the adult brain. Your body is literally designed to respond to it. That's not a bug. That's evolution doing its job. So when your baby cries and you feel that surge of anxiety or urgency, that's not weakness. That's your parenting instincts working perfectly. Now, here's something else worth knowing. In the first few months of life, most babies cry for a total of about 2 to 3 hours per day. That sounds like a lot, and some days it feels like even more, but it's completely normal. There's also a phenomenon called the crying curve. Research by pediatrician Dr. Ronald Barr shows that crying tends to peak around 6 to 8 weeks of age and then gradually decreases. So if you're in those early weeks and it feels endless, hold on. It gets better. It genuinely, measurably gets better. And then there's something called purple crying, which stands for P, peak of crying. It increases in the early weeks. Always unexpected, it starts and stops without obvious reason. R to resist soothing. Sometimes nothing works. P, pain-like face. Baby looks like they're in pain even when they're not. L, long-lasting, can go on for hours. E, evening, tends to happen more in the late afternoon and evening. Understanding that this is a normal developmental phase, not a sign that something is wrong, can genuinely reduce parental anxiety. And lower parental anxiety means a calmer home, which actually helps babies settle more easily. Okay, now that we understand the why behind the crying, let's talk about the what. What specifically is your baby trying to tell you? Section 2. The 7 reasons babies cry. All right, this is the section you probably came here for. I'm going to walk you through the 7 most common reasons babies cry and give you specific clues for each one so you can become a baby whisperer in your own home. Reason number 1, hunger. Let's start with the obvious one, hunger. This is by far the number 1 reason babies cry, especially in the newborn stage. Newborns have tiny stomachs, roughly the size of a marble at birth, expanding to about the size of a ping pong ball by day 10. They digest breast milk incredibly quickly, sometimes in as little as 90 minutes. Formula takes a little longer, but we're still talking every 2 to 3 hours. How to tell it's hunger? Crying starts slowly and builds in intensity. Baby is smacking lips or sticking tongue out. Baby turns head side to side with mouth open. This is called the rooting reflex. Baby is sucking on their fist. It's been more than 2 hours since the last feed. The key takeaway, try to catch hunger cues before crying starts. Crying is actually a late hunger signal. Once baby is fully crying from hunger, feeding can be harder because they're already worked up. Reason number 2, discomfort, diaper, temperature, clothing. The second reason is physical discomfort. and this covers a few different things. A wet or dirty diaper is obvious, but don't overlook a hair or thread wrapped around a tiny finger or toe. This is called a hair tourniquet, and it's more common than people think. Always check fingers, toes, and even genitals if your baby is inconsolably crying for no apparent reason. Clothing that's too tight, a scratchy tag, or an awkward seam. Temperature. Baby is too hot or too cold. Temperature check. Feel the back of baby's neck or their tummy. If it's sweaty, they're too hot. If it's cool to the touch, add a layer. A good rule of thumb is to dress your baby in one more layer than you're wearing. Reason number 3, gas and digestive discomfort. Oh, gas, the nemesis of new parents everywhere. Babies swallow a lot of air while feeding, especially bottle-fed babies. That air gets trapped in the digestive system, and it hurts. Think about the last time you had painful gas. Not fun as an adult. Now imagine not being able to articulate it. Signs of gas. Baby pulls knees to chest. Baby arches back. Crying intensifies after feeding. Baby looks relieved after passing gas or having a bowel movement. What to do? Burp thoroughly during and after every feed. Try bicycle legs, gently moving baby's legs in a cycling motion. A gentle tummy massage in a clockwise direction, following the digestive tract. If breastfeeding, consider your diet. Some foods like dairy, caffeine, and cruciferous vegetables can contribute to gassiness. We'll get into more soothing techniques in a moment, but gas is worth its own section because it's so common and so misunderstood. Reason number 4, tiredness. Here's the parenting paradox that trips up almost everyone. Tired babies often cry more than well-rested ones, and the more tired they get, the harder it is for them to fall asleep. Newborns can typically only handle 45 to 60 minutes of awake time before they need to sleep again. Slightly older babies, around 3 to 4 months, might handle 90 minutes, but that window closes fast. Signs of tiredness. Yawning, obvious but easy to miss in the chaos. Staring blankly or losing focus, rubbing eyes or ears. Fussiness that seems to come from nowhere. Turning head away from stimulation. The goal is to catch that window and start the sleep routine before baby tips into overtired territory. Reason number 5, need for comfort and connection. This one trips up a lot of parents because of outdated advice. The idea that picking up a crying baby will spoil them. Let me be clear. You cannot spoil a baby under 6 months old. This is not opinion. It's backed by decades of research. Babies in this stage are in what developmental psychologists call the trust versus mistrust phase. Every time you respond to your baby's cries, you're literally building neural pathways that tell them, the world is safe, my needs will be met, I am loved. Responsive parenting in the early months creates more independent, secure children later, not less. Sometimes your baby just needs you. That's not manipulation, that's biology. Reason number 6, overstimulation. We live in a loud, bright, busy world, and for a baby who just came from the quiet dark of the womb, it can be overwhelming fast. Signs of overstimulation. Crying after a busy outing, a family gathering, or lots of visitors. Baby turns head away from faces or toys. Baby arches back or stiffens. Hiccuping, yawning, or sneezing during play. The fix here is simple. Reduce the input. Dim the lights, lower the noise. Limit who's holding baby, and give them a calm, quiet space to decompress. Reason number 7, illness or pain. Finally, and most importantly, sometimes crying is a signal that something is genuinely wrong medically. Warning signs to watch for. A high-pitched, unusual cry that sounds different from normal, often described as more shrill or weak. Crying accompanied by fever. Any fever in a baby under 3 months is a medical emergency. Call your doctor immediately. Inconsolable crying that lasts more than 2 hours. Baby is unusually limp or difficult to rouse. Crying with visible symptoms, rash, swollen belly, blood in stool, vomiting. Trust your gut. You know your baby. If something feels off, don't wait. Call your pediatrician. It's always better to be the parent who called unnecessarily than the one who waited too long. Okay, we just covered the 7 core reasons. Now let's talk about what you can actually do about it. This next section is your soothing toolkit, and it is packed. Section 3, the soothing toolkit. All right, let's build your soothing toolkit. These are the techniques that pediatricians, sleep consultants, and, most importantly, experienced parents swear by. Not all of them will work for every baby. Your job is to experiment and find what works for yours. Technique number 1, the 5 S's. This system was developed by pediatrician Dr. Harvey Karp and laid out in his book, The Happiest Baby on the Block. If you haven't read it, I'll link it below. It genuinely changed how millions of parents handle the newborn stage. The 5 S's are designed to mimic the womb environment, which, it turns out, is exactly what newborns are craving. S number 1, swaddle. Wrapping babies snugly in a blanket reduces the Moro reflex, that startle reflex where babies' arms fly out, which is one of the main things that wakes and upsets newborns. Key point, swaddle the arms snugly but leave the hips loose to prevent hip dysplasia. S number 2, side or stomach position, in arms only. Holding baby on their side or stomach, on your body while you're awake, activates a calming reflex. Important, always place baby on their back to sleep. This position is only for soothing while you're holding them. S number 3, shush. The womb is not silent. It's roughly as loud as a vacuum cleaner. A loud, consistent shushing sound right near baby's ear mimics that environment. White noise machines, apps, or even your voice work beautifully here. S number 4, swing. Gentle, rhythmic motion soothes babies because it replicates the movement they felt in the womb every time you walked. The key word is rhythmic, steady back and forth or side to side at about the pace of a slow heartbeat. S number 5, suck. Sucking activates a calming reflex in babies. A pacifier, your clean finger, or breastfeeding, all can work here. The magic of the 5 S's is combining them. 1 alone is good. 2 is better. All 5 together is incredibly powerful for most newborns. Technique number 2, baby wearing. Carrying your baby in a wrap or carrier, called baby wearing, has been practiced across virtually every human culture throughout history, and science backs it up. Studies show that babies who are carried more cry significantly less. Some research suggests up to 43% less. The closeness regulates baby's body temperature, heart rate, and breathing, and the constant gentle movement mimics the womb. Bonus, it leaves your hands free. Life-changing. Just make sure you follow safe baby-wearing guidelines. Baby's airway should always be clear, their face visible, and their chin off their chest. Technique number 3, skin-to-skin contact. Skin to skin, holding your bare baby against your bare chest, is one of the most powerful tools available to parents. Originally studied in premature infants in the NICU, the benefits extend to all babies. Benefits include regulated body temperature, stabilized heart rate and breathing, reduced stress hormones, and better weight gain. And for parents, skin to skin boosts oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and has been shown to reduce postpartum anxiety. This works for dads and partners too, not just the birthing parent. Technique number 4, white noise. We touched on this with the 5 S's, but it deserves its own spotlight. White noise is genuinely remarkable for soothing babies. The key is volume and consistency. It should be loud enough to be heard over the crying, about the level of a shower running in the same room. And it should be constant, not music with starts and stops. Options: dedicated white noise machines, fan sounds, apps like Hatch or Calm Baby. Once baby is calm, you can gradually reduce the volume. For sleep, many parents find a white noise machine in the nursery becomes a powerful sleep association, essentially a cue that tells baby's brain, it's time to rest. Technique number 5, the colic hold, football hold. For gassy or colicky babies especially, this hold works wonders. Lay baby face down along your forearm, their head near your elbow, their legs straddling your hand. The gentle pressure on their tummy provides relief. Combine with a gentle swaying motion, and you've got a powerful combo. Technique number 6, warm bath. A warm bath can be incredibly calming for some babies. The warmth relaxes muscles, the water provides gentle sensory input, and the routine signals wind down time. Many families make it part of the bedtime routine for exactly this reason. Note, it doesn't work for every baby. Some babies hate baths. If yours is one of them, don't force it. The stress will make things worse. Technique number 7. Fresh air and change of scene. Never underestimate the power of walking out the front door. A change of environment, different sounds, different light, fresh air can break the crying cycle when nothing else is working. A walk in the stroller, a drive in the car, or simply stepping onto the porch can reset a fussy baby almost instantly. There's even a term for it, the car ride effect. The combination of motion, vibration, white noise, and temperature change is basically a baby sedative. Many parents have driven around the neighborhood at midnight and felt zero shame about it. Technique number 8, offering a feed regardless. When in doubt, offer a feed. Even if you fed recently, babies sometimes want to nurse or bottle feed for comfort rather than pure hunger. Non-nutritive sucking is deeply soothing, and if they're not hungry, they'll simply stop. There's no harm in offering. Technique number 9, swinging and bouncing. A baby swing, whether a mechanical one or in your arms, provides that continuous rhythmic motion babies crave. Many parents swear by a specific bouncing technique, holding baby in arms and doing a gentle knee bend bounce. The key is consistency of rhythm. Some babies also respond to being bounced on a yoga ball. The parent sits on the ball and bounces gently while holding baby. Your arms get a rest, baby gets the motion. Win-win. Section 4, colic, when nothing seems to work. I want to take a moment to talk specifically about colic, because if you're dealing with it, you need to know you are not alone and you are not failing. Colic is defined as crying in an otherwise healthy baby for more than 3 hours a day, more than 3 days a week, for more than 3 weeks. It affects roughly 1 in 5 babies. It usually starts around 2 to 3 weeks of age, peaks at 6 weeks, and typically resolves by 3 to 4 months. No one fully understands what causes colic. Theories include immature digestive systems, an imbalance in gut bacteria, oversensitivity to stimulation, or simply a variation in normal infant temperament. What we do know is this: it is not caused by bad parenting. It is not because you're doing something wrong. Colic is one of the hardest things a new parent can go through. The helplessness of not being able to soothe your baby, despite doing everything right, is genuinely traumatic for some families. Postpartum depression and anxiety are significantly higher in parents of colicky babies. Please take that seriously. What can help with colic? All of the techniques we already covered, especially the 5 S's combined. Probiotics. There is emerging evidence that the probiotic strain Lactobacillus reuteri may reduce crying in breastfed colicky babies. Speak to your pediatrician. Gripe water or gas drops? Mixed evidence, but many parents report relief. Eliminating potential dietary triggers if breastfeeding. In some cases, switching formula. Speak to your doctor about this. A structured daily routine, which can reduce overstimulation. Most importantly, take breaks. Tag in your partner, a family member, a trusted friend. Put the baby safely in the crib and step outside for 5 minutes. Call your doctor if you're struggling emotionally. There is no weakness in asking for help. It is, in fact, the strongest thing you can do. If you suspect your baby's crying is not colic but something medical, reflux, a milk protein allergy, intussusception, please don't self-diagnose. Go to your pediatrician. Section 5. Taking care of yourself. Before I wrap up, I need to say something that often gets left out of parenting videos. You matter too. When your baby cries and you can't soothe them, it activates a very real stress response in your body. Cortisol rises. Your nervous system goes on high alert. Over time, especially with sleep deprivation, this is genuinely taxing on your mental and physical health. Here's your permission slip too. Put the baby down safely and take 5 minutes if you're at your limit. Ask for help from your partner, family, friends, or a postpartum doula. Sleep when baby sleeps. Yes, it's a cliché, but it's a cliché because it works. Call your doctor if you're experiencing symptoms of postpartum depression or anxiety, which include persistent sadness, rage, intrusive thoughts, inability to sleep even when baby sleeps, or feeling disconnected from your baby. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is taking care of your baby. And one more thing, even on the hardest days when you're exhausted and covered in spit up and wondering what on earth you got yourself into, you are doing an incredible thing. You are raising a human being. Be gentle with yourself. All right, let's do a quick recap of what we covered today. Why babies cry. První. Hunger, the most common reason. Druhý. Physical discomfort, diapers, temperature, hair tourniquet. Třetí. Gas and digestive pain. Čtvrtý. Tiredness. Catch that sleep window. Pátý. Need for closeness and comfort. You cannot spoil a newborn. Šestý. Overstimulation. Sometimes less is more. Soothe. Illness or pain. Trust your gut and call the doctor. How to soothe them. The 5 S's. Swaddle, side/stomach, shush, swing, suck. Naughty baby wearing. Inash. Skin-to-skin contact. White noise. The colic/football hold. A warm bath, fresh air, and a change of scene. Offering a feed. Rhythmic bouncing or swinging. And remember, if you're dealing with colic, you are not alone. It gets better. And if you're struggling emotionally, please ask for help. If you found this video helpful, I'd love it if you gave it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel reach more parents who need it. Drop a comment below and let me know what soothing technique works best for your baby. I love reading your responses. If you want to go deeper on any of these topics, check out these videos next. Gesture to end screen. I've got full videos on newborn sleep, feeding schedules, and managing postpartum anxiety. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. You've got this, I promise.